Hey, hey everybody. Welcome to the Prep Life podcast. This is your founder and CEO of Glam Girl Bikini, Amy Enger, and today I'm joined by my fabulous co-host, Lee Marie Hostetter. Well, no, it's not. I'm so used to saying that.
Nope, not
Okay, so you have
anymore.
confused for our audience.
So it's Lee Marie Jones now, which I
I
think
have
is
to get
the
used to that.
coolest last
I
name
love that.
ever. But I just realized it still says my name on my Zoom. I haven't changed anything. I think I figured out how to change my Facebook name finally. But yeah. So
It's
very
fresh
proud.
though, since
First
Saturday,
first
right?
episode back. We're back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. And I just also want to point out the obvious that I feel very white compared to you. I
Oh,
don't know if it's the lighting or if it's leftover show
it's
tan.
leftover show tan. Yeah, for sure.
We love it. It looks great on the podcast.
Oh, well, thank you.
Absolutely great. I
I
actually
appreciate it.
love the first week after when you've gotten a couple showers in. I love the way that pro tan looks. Like
Yes.
it fades very nicely. And I've had tan
Yeah.
that don't. So shout
Yeah. I did my own. I did
out.
DIY,
Oh wow.
do it yourself.
Yeah.
So it would have been less than 2 weeks ago. It'll be 2 weeks on Saturday, I think. For the Tampa Pro was what yeah. So yeah, I'm like at a week and a half of Protan
I
residual.
love it. I love it. So we were just talking before the podcast, and you have some special news as well that you said you would announce.
Yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to recap the Tampa. I had kind of did a last minute. So okay, so kind of going back. So those of you that are listeners know that a couple weeks ago, Marissa and I, our head posing coach, Marissa Wilmot, we did an episode comparing bikini and fit model, and I had talked about Masters Nationals and I had talked about how much I love Cash, and Marissa has the same coach. We were talking about all the things Cash and how it was very professional of him to recommend, that I get a coach that is passionate about fit models. So I'm officially announcing on the podcast. I know I've talked about it on my IG if you follow me there, but I am coached by Paul Ravella. So I'm very excited. He's an amazing coach, and I was able to. So, what we decided was he was not at Masters Nationals, and we had just started working together. And we knew long term that we wanted to do North Americans through like the big picture. That was the ultimate goal.
Mhm.
And we wanted to do a dry run where he actually saw me in person before the big one, right? And because I had been qualified from the Bahamas, placing, and then also my placement in Arizona, I was already qualified because if you qualified in bikini last year, you can do a fit model show without doing a regional show.
Okay.
So I didn't need to get like nationally qualified in fit model. So I went right into Masters Nationals. So this time I kind of went backwards and I did it in the reverse order. So I did the national show and then I did a regional qualifier. So uh, I did that first weekend of August, I did the Tampa, and Paul was able to work out with me the night before, or not the night before, but the day before on that Friday. We met at Powerhouse Gym in Tampa,
Mhm.
and a couple of the other ladies, my friend Brooke and my new friend Amy, who I met there, they had both previously done bikini and they were doing their fit model debut. So we did a workout and then we did a group posing with Paul that night or that day, and then the next day, early morning, um, we were before the pros on Saturday. So if you are familiar with the Tampa Pro, it's like a Thursday, a Friday, and a Saturday show. It's very centered on the pros. So the
Oh,
pros go all 3 days.
oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's a really small show. And this is just a sidebar. This has nothing to do with the episode, but just those of you that are looking into shows to do when you're kind of selecting and picking, I will say the Tampa Pro has an amazing expo. Probably one of the best like booths, vendors type of situation that I've ever been to. Really
Wow.
liked it. They even had one of those like mini gyms, kind of how the Pittsburgh Power Pro had. So,
Mhm.
side note, if you like that kind of thing, it's got a great expo. If you are an amateur, I honestly wouldn't recommend it. It's really a competition that's very big for the pros
Mhm.
side of it, but the amateurs, there were so many people in Fit Model that missed their class, and we were halfway through the show. I mean, if there's 12 categories, we were like the sixth category. So there were
Wow.
five categories before us.
Hmm.
And the show for the amateurs started at 8 a.m. I was off stage by like 8:30, maybe 8:20
PM?
a.m.
Oh my goodness.
a.m. So they don't let you do your individual routines. They don't really tell you that.
Oh.
There were two girls in Fit Model out of 12 that missed it. They were so upset
Mhm.
because they were there at 8:30 and we had already left and gone. Like they came and they're like, "Oh, they already went on stage." And so they were so distraught because they were staying in the host hotel, these two girls, and completely missed it. So many wellness girls also. We were walking down the stairs and some girls were walking up and they're like, "What category are you in? Wellness?" "Oh, they already went on stage. You missed your class." So many people missed their class. I guess because Paul has done this one before, he knew to be there right at 8, which I would always suggest that you're there when the show starts. You do not want to
For
spend this
sure.
kind of money and investment and not show up. I mean, get there early.
Hmm.
But it was fast. It was very fast. And then
So
we
if you
went
didn't get to
last.
do your individual, did you just do comparisons?
Yeah. And um, so they did the comparison round and then they did call outs and then they
Mhm.
exited you off stage.
Wow.
But then at night, that's when you did your individual and
Mm,
then they did awards.
yeah.
So we at least got to do the individual, but it was at night. So yeah, anyway, side note on that one.
Yeah,
I
that's
digress.
crazy. That is not usually like that.
No, no, that was very fast. And they do it because, they've got this panel of judges and they have all these pros that have to go that day.
Hmm.
So they want to get us off the stage so that they can start the pros right on time. And they actually started our night show late because the pros were still going. And
Wow.
so they allow the pros to sleep in. So then they have them
Hmm.
go prejudging at 11 and then they get to do finals first so they get to go
Hmm.
out and get home or to bed early. So
Yep.
their finals started at like 3 and ours started at 6 p.m. So
That
it's a
would
long
be
day for
nice.
amateurs too, just to keep that in
Mhm.
mind.
Yeah, yeah. So I have like so many questions. I don't know where you're going with this, but
Okay.
just of the show.
Yeah.
First, let's talk about the pros real quick because I'm
Yeah.
sure
Yeah. Yeah.
you watch the pro fit models.
Okay, so there's no profit model until 2026.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you competing as fit models, did someone get a pro card?
No. So
Okay,
that's why I was saying I did it in reverse order. And I'm sorry.
gotcha.
It kind of was confusing because I qualified last year by
Right.
competing in bikini for Masters Nationals. So I could go straight into a national show and not have to be qualified for fit model.
Mhm.
So I did it in reverse order because I had switched coaches because he wanted to see me in person.
Gotcha.
I did a national show, then I did a regional show.
Oh,
And
sure.
then I'll
Okay,
be
that makes sense.
but it was to do like a dry run of
Mhm.
my peak week for him to see me on stage, for Paul to like be there in
Yeah.
person with the naked eye
Uh-huh.
tests, all the things. So
Right.
yeah, it was a reverse order. So obviously, if I would have gone pro in Masters Nationals, I wouldn't have ever done that regional show because I wouldn't have
Right.
been allowed to.
Sure.
So,
So, okay, I've got two questions. But
okay.
first, I just want to, so was this your second or third show as fit model?
It was my second. So
Second.
my debut was Masters
Yeah.
Nationals.
So
Yeah.
how does it feel being up there doing these poses? Is it new or does it just feel like throwback from when you first started competing? Because it kind of is a little bit.
Yeah. So I would say the first competition at Masters Nationals, I did it the old way of posing. So that felt like throwback.
Hmm.
Um, it was a little bit rushed because they had dropped my category D and didn't tell me that I was in C. So I was sprinting to get on stage because I was
Wow.
waiting backstage and they were already almost done. I was literally the last one on stage. So I was a little panicked. So I don't really remember much of that. It was kind of an adrenaline rush.
Yep.
But by the time I got up there for 40, I think I was like more relaxed. But Paul has changed. So, and if you look at the pros, the people that have gone pro and fit model, it's a little bit different than it was in the old school for the stallion. So
Mhm.
he had me change in person that Friday before to a wider stance. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can kind of see my feet where they're almost more horizontal so that you can twist your waist.
Mhm.
So before I was doing more narrow and my front foot was
Mhm.
up in
Yep.
front of my body. So again, you can see me on YouTube, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to explain this in words as well. So my feet were more narrow
Mhm.
and the front foot was out in front, whereas now he wants, and pretty much if you look at all the pros right now, the stallion pose, it's almost horizontal in the foot plant. And then you're
Uh-huh.
kind of like sitting back in that hip to
Mhm.
twist the waist. So it just gives you a better shape in that way. So I felt like that was new enough. And I'm definitely still working on the muscle memory of that one just so that I can learn how to do it. Cause that's kind of like the new stallion pose in a
Uh-huh.
way. So
Were most of the competitors you were with, was it like some first shows or a lot of bikini girls that had switched?
yeah, so my two friends that had trained, they're both coached by Paul. They had done bikini
Mhm.
previously. The one girl like 2 years ago, and then the other girl also 2 years ago. So this was their fit model debut for both of them. And the one, they both were also having to kind of learn that horizontal footing and having some issues there. I would say I met a couple that had done one other fit model show backstage, but the good majority, if they were um like there were like pretty much the majority had done bikini like the previous year and then they had switched over because they got the feedback that they weren't big enough for bikini.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
feedback.
Yeah.
What did Paul think seeing you? Like what did your coach think? And then definitely want to hear what the judges thought for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So Bill Sevilla was, well, Tyler obviously was the head judge here,
Mhm.
but Bill, so this new thing that they're doing, and I want to mention this because my client that just competed last weekend in Philadelphia, she missed out on her opportunity for feedback when I told her to stay after the show and
Oh
ask the
no.
judges for feedback. They're doing this new thing this year where the judges are skipping, one judge will skip the night show
Mhm.
and they'll just stand backstage, kind of like what Sandy started doing last year.
Mhm. I love that.
Um, yeah, so good. You know, then you don't have to wait for the show to be done to talk to the judges. They don't have to be there late. So Bill Sevilla sat backstage and talked to everybody as they were exiting off the stage with their medals,
Mhm.
which was really nice. As far as that goes, Sandy did the same thing at Masters Nationals, which I talked about in that other episode. But something that I didn't share in the Masters Nationals recap was that so Bill was also the judge at Masters Nationals. So he took notes. And when I went up to Sandy, she was like, you know, if you talk to Bill, she's like, I looked at his notes. We had the same notes on you. And she literally called me by my name to him. I could read her lips. Like she was like, Amy. I'm like, I don't know if Bill actually knows who Amy is, but he was like I could hear her talking or
Uh-huh.
not, like I could see her saying my name when she was looking at me. So anyway, she's like, I looked at his notes, so he'll tell you the same thing. And so when he talked to me in person, it actually was a bit different, but I'll explain the reason why. And I didn't explain this when I recapped Masters Nationals. So Sandy said, okay, this is what we both had. Bill and I said, you either need to tighten your glutes or you need to grow them. And then
Mm,
she grabbed Kim Odo, which I didn't tell the story, so I'm telling it now.
love
She
it.
grabbed Kim Odo and she's like, all right, Amy, hit your back pose. And she's like, Kim, does she need to get leaner and just more conditioned? Or does she need to grow her glutes? And he's like, she just needs more conditioning in her glutes. And
Mm-hmm.
so she's like, there you
That's
go. She's
interesting.
like, I respect Paul a lot too. I bet he'll tell you the same thing, which he did.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Bill, when he pulled me aside, he said, "You need to grow your glutes." That was the only thing he said.
Okay.
He's like, "You need to match your front to your back." He's like, "Your
Mm-hmm.
front's perfect." And that's what Sandy said. She said she had me in the center with my front pose.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I said to Bill, I was like, "Well, when I talked to Sandy, I'm like, she said just tighter." And then he was like, "Well," he's like, "You either need to get more density so that it pushes against the skin, or you need to get tighter."
Sure.
Um, so he's like, "If you're doing North Americans, it's just got to be tighter," because he's
Yep.
like, "You're not growing anything
Yep.
from in the next 2.5 weeks." At the time, it was like a month away, but so that was my feedback. Do you want me to share what my friends said
Yeah.
was their
Sure. Yeah.
feedback as well,
Uh-huh.
just so people can kind of hear like what's being said
Yes.
out there?
Yeah.
Um, okay, so my other friend that had taken 2 years off, she thought she was gonna have too big of shoulders, but all he said was, because she has really nice shoulders, he
Mm-hmm.
told her that she just needs to be tighter in her glutes and
Mm.
that to watch that her shoulders don't get too hard when she's trying to tighten up.
Yeah.
So the problem that so my problem is that like I mean, and everybody has their own issue, right? So everybody has one part that leans out like months in advance, and then that last body part that just takes
Mm-hmm.
forever. You just basically have to get down to zero. Just
Mm-hmm.
keep making withdrawals from the bank account, right? You can't spot reduce. So for me, I just have to get so lean that finally the fat in my butt goes away. So
Mm-hmm.
like my abs like will get lean right away. My friends, she was saying how she like gets so shredded in her upper body and her abs, and that her legs and her glutes are like the last part to lose body fat. So she again just has to like watch that she doesn't get too like striated or hard up top while she's trying to get tight enough in the glutes.
Mm-hmm.
And so then my other friend, her feedback was actually that she ended up winning her 35 class, but she kind of got moved out to the side in true novice, and which I don't understand how she was able to do true novice. She said it's because she's never done fit model that she was true novice, even though she'd done bikini, which I don't know. That might be a promoter thing.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, she was true novice, even though she's done bikini. She'd never done fit model, and she got moved to the outside, and they said that she was too small. So, in fairness to her, the girl that won the Open D, the tall girl, she was the one that won that class. And
Mm.
my friend is a shorter class, like A. And I do think that that makes a difference, like when you don't have height splits, you
Yep.
know. I mean, I know her age, 35, but they were all kind of the same height, if that makes sense. So this other girl was like maybe 5'10", maybe like your height, or like almost close to 6 foot. Against her,
Wow.
she looked like she was more filled out. But in general, I would say that they're doing a good job of keeping it smaller than bikini and less conditioned in terms of like just roundness, tightness. So the overall winner, she had the smallest waist I've ever seen, and she was
Yeah.
just very petite. She was very proportioned. She had shoulders, she had glutes, like a little bit of Italian, but not like hard etched,
Mm-hmm.
and no projection 3D glutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and I know I mentioned this in the Masters Nationals feedback, but I want to also bring this up too because my client that competed, there's some significance in that story. And then also for this overall winner, she was very beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
just looked like a model, um, just so pretty. And that was one of the things that Sandy was like, she had mentioned, like, which was super sweet of her, but she was like, you have an eye-catching look. And she's like, that is something we're looking for in this division, is like, just does your glamour, your face, like all of that also catch our eye in addition to your physique being on point? And so I would say, so my client wanted to do her own makeup, and she had never done stage makeup before. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what your skills are, but I'm like, if you have not done this before, and I'm like, this is not something, I was like, just to relieve your stress and
Mhm.
Trust me, she's like, everybody that does my makeup makes me look like a drag queen. I'm like, you're kind of gonna look like a drag queen no matter what. Like,
Oh,
just pay for the makeup because she was paying for the hair. And
mhm.
I was like, just ask them if they can tack it on because I'm like, trust me, it's totally different than anything that you've ever done. If you've done makeup and you're good at it, it doesn't mean you're good at stage makeup because it's so niche. It's such a specific skill set.
Mhm.
So I had them do the professional makeup. She was glowing. She looked gorgeous. She's very pretty anyways, but like she did very well. She was the oldest in her whole she did the 50 plus. She was the only 50 plus one. Um, but she got third in her true novice and she got fifth in open and there were more than five. So it wasn't like and she's 50.
That's
Um,
wow. Okay.
yeah. And like the other girls looked good. And
Uh-huh.
there were multiple people in each class. Like it was more than it wasn't just three and five people. Like she got third out of several
Uh,
people. And same with fifth. So I mean, not only does her physique look great, but she she also, like I said, I just think it's worth it to make sure your glamour's on point with this new category too, just because I've heard from Sandy. Bill didn't say anything about that, but Sandy did, so
I
worth noting.
actually, this kind of made me go off in my head on a little rabbit trail because I hadn't
Okay,
this thought again. But fit model, I mean, model is literally in the category.
right.
And I don't know if there's anything in there the judging like description of what they're looking for that has to do with femininity, but her even saying that to you that they're looking for beauty, they're looking for a
Yeah.
certain look. I wonder if because they're looking for a slightly softer, slightly less muscular, as as you progress in bodybuilding, obviously, we all know that steroids are part of the picture. And depending on the level of steroid use and the level of muscularity that we as females have to reach for that category, as that gets higher and higher, it
Mhm.
does give your face a harder, more masculine look. And it
Yeah.
does. And and I feel like as the categories get more muscular, the judging on appearance and hair and makeup and all that, it gets farther down.
Hmm.
And so I'm wondering if they purposefully want that feminine look. They're
Hmm.
like, you don't need to be doing the drugs that are going to change up your face. Like we
Yes.
want you to look like women up there. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm thinking because I know
Yeah.
even I mean bikini still looks very feminine even though they might be doing they might be doing some things to enhance their muscularity. It's at a level where they still have that feminine look right now, but like as you get up into figure and physique and bodybuilding, it does start to change the level.
I Yeah, and of course it's like extremely sad. I just saw this and there's not much on it, but I saw that this 37-year-old that had actually done the Tampa Pro last year and done really well. Um, she passed away of a heart attack at 37, and this is a bikini competitor.
That's how old I am.
Yeah, I mean that's incredibly sad, and I have to tell you that I think just this year and at the end of last year, I started seeing the pockets. And if you were watching on YouTube, I was
Yeah, I
making
saw you do that.
the faces like
Yes.
I call it the Joker face.
Hmm.
So they have these two pockets like right by their lips that are kind of like in, and it changes people's jawline. And you can see it on some of these competitors that used to look very young,
Hmm.
very youthful, very feminine bikini competitors because that used to be kind of I mean, they would always say that it's very like that part of it's kind of subjective because like in bikini it was always kind of like your aesthetics also played into a role
Hmm.
outside of like the other divisions like you were saying to your point
Right.
like they don't really count that. I mean, yeah, they count like your tan and like your suit and all that, but
You can have short hair. You can put your hair
yeah,
up
you can have it like up in a
straight. Yeah.
ponytail or
Yeah.
braid or like you can have a receding hairline.
Hmm.
But in bikini, you were never able to do that. And I mean, Sandy said this specifically separate to, I was like, I saw cap shoulders in the middle. She's like, you would have been in the middle of the cap shoulders. She's like, from the front. And like, And then she separately said, like, you also have an eye-catching look. So it was like she's trying to make a point that that's also like something other than the physique that we're looking at,
Mhm.
right?
I think it's important to hear from judges because as it is getting more muscular and drugs are getting more accessible and being more and more talked about, I think in a way it's good that they're being talked about and competitors are
Mhm.
more and more talking about that the fact that they are enhanced. But
Yeah,
also, like, I know people, like, I have friends at the gym that now that they're seeing it on YouTube all the time and it's being talked about, they're like, oh, well, I should just go do this one or that one. And it's like, well, it's still a very serious decision, you know?
yeah, yeah. And as I know, Evan Wells says a lot, like you can't unring that bell.
Mhm.
Once you make that decision, you crossed over. I mean, there's some people that are never going to get their voices back. You
Yeah.
know, you hear these pros and they have a deep tone to their voice. And once that changes, like,
Mhm.
I mean, those things can't be reversed, like viralization and
Mhm.
all those things. So, to me, you know, I'm glad that they've decided to add this category for that reason and many more. But
Do
um,
you think in your like professional opinion, because you are a professional bodybuilding coach, do you think the fit model will be extremely successful all the way through to the Olympia easily, completely natural? Like if
so,
someone could compete completely natural.
so I've seen some well-known teams win certain, like their competitors have won certain shows in Fit Model where I know at least in Bikini, like they run some pretty aggressive drug protocols. So
Mhm.
I don't know if those coaches, you know, that would just be hearsay and that would just be like me making a guess or an inference based on how they've treated, which is why the bikini category has gone to like I think a level that we can't come back from
Yeah.
because those coaches have done these like way above and beyond what bikini competitors should have ever been running. And those
Mhm.
have been the people like have been getting rewarded at the higher level. So then it makes everybody kind of like be like, oh, well, I need to do this to get to that level. And so I hope that it doesn't come to that. I know, and I mentioned this maybe on my previous episode, but I think like I had a couple of friends that did bikini that actually did bikini at Masters Nationals, and now they're gonna do fit model at North Americans. And then like I know Lexi Mate has like publicly announced that she's no longer doing bikini, that
Wow.
she's gonna do fit model at North Americans. And she just recently did bikini at Republic of Texas, and at the Tampa, Bill told her to that it'd be a good switch. There's a lot of people jumping ship even mid-season at this point because they're kind of seeing like where like the cards land in 2025. And I think by the time we get to nationals at the end of the year, um, I think it's going to be a lot bigger in fit model.
Mhm.
You know, I don't think at North Americans my 45D class will get dropped. I mean, I don't foresee that happening. Like only two people were signed up. It's crazy. I bet you all have way more than that. Hopefully
Mhm.
just from this podcast.
Yeah,
There's even a
totally.
chance to do
Well,
something with that
I
one,
was
but
wondering too, like how popular it is or what the percentage is of like people switching from bikini to fit model because of judges' feedback. I wonder how often judges are saying that. Hey, switch
yeah.
to this.
Yeah. And some of the people aren't even asking, like they're just deciding to make the jump because in the past they've been successful in bikini and they're just realizing that they're moving down, down, down the ranks because they just can't keep up with the level that it's gotten to this past year.
So, speaking of that, I have
Yeah.
another question.
Okay.
I want to know what, from this experience, how your training and prep has changed. And then like if it's changed because of fit model or if it's changed a lot just from switching coaches, because you've done both. Like you've switched from bikini to fit.
Yeah.
Did your training change at all? Did your diet change? Did the way you peaked change at all? And then just switching coaches. I mean, so recently, did any of that change
Yeah.
again?
Yeah. That's actually a good question and a loaded one. So when Cash and I started working together, Fit Model didn't exist.
Mm,
So we had the goal of bikini. We knew that my feedback right after Bahamas was that I have to grow.
hmm.
And so we reverse dieted me and trained I lifted very heavy. I mean, I would lift like 4 plates on both sides, so like 8 plates on my hip thrusts, like
Mhm.
multiple times. I PR'd, and I was eating like 2,000 calories. So I was really like training to build for bikini. And then when we kind of made that decision, when we parted ways, it was like literally 3 weeks before Masters Nationals. So, not a ton can be done other than we've just made my deficit way lower. We had a lot to pull from with Paul. And then I also have been doing a lot more like steps and a lot more cardio than I had been doing. But I was really low on my cardio leading into these
Mhm.
preps and peaks. And then now it's like a lot higher just because I just have to, like, at this point, I don't really have to worry about the muscle part of it. Like I just have to get my glutes lean, and it's
Mhm.
just going to take the fact of me just continually dieting and staying in a deficit and increasing that deficit through my steps and my cardio. So it's been a big change for the amount of movement I've been doing. I will not lie. And then I've also been carb cycling with like 2 high days, and then it's either like 3 to 5 low days consecutively with like a double refeed. But I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, my carbs are really low right now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not for everybody, but I mean, I do have like it's crunch time, like I want to put everything I can into getting my pro card in 2.5 weeks. And so this is very temporary. I mean, I'm pretty close. So I just need to get that little bit, probably like 5 pounds is like what I have to change my physique by just to get that glute part to details come in.
Mhm. Are you
So
still like doing the same heavy glute training, all of those things?
I just don't have the energy at this
Okay.
point. Like, I mean, if I'm lucky to do 1 plate on both sides now with my
Yeah.
hip thrust, like I'm just like on, full disclosure, and this don't take this as your protocol, but like,
Right.
it's been very temporary, which means that my body's not going to adapt to it. But like, I've been on like 80 grams of carbs some days,
Mhm.
and that's very low for me.
Yes. Yeah.
Really low. And so I just don't have any gas in the tank. And then I'm getting 20 plus steps and,
Yeah.
trying to do AM and PM cardio. It's up there, so
Yeah.
not for nothing. I'm in it to win it. So I'm making this
Mhm.
choice and this decision. And I know that it's only a couple of weeks that I've got to power through, and I can do anything for a couple of weeks, but I'm just going to have to do it and like suck it
Yeah.
up right now, you know?
What about your peak week? Are you still doing carb loading like you did for bikini? Do you do like a high day on, 2 days before and things like that, or is it a different sort of peak?
Yeah, and I think Paul's talked about this on his YouTubes and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm giving away any industry secrets, but because he has it mapped out on his YouTube channel, but he does a carb load similar to like the protocols that we follow with our athletes, where we do 3 depletion days.
Mhm.
We do ours like, Sunday, Monday, or yeah, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then high carb load on Wednesday, and then possibly Thursday, Friday. Whereas his kind of like starts climbing on Wednesday, and then
Mhm.
like the highest day is Friday.
Wow.
So like we kind of historically don't do that because of like waistline digestion, like not, you know, so it's tricky like if you're not going to the bathroom. But yeah, I mean it worked really well. Like I was able to drop, I think, three almost, yeah, it was like it was almost 4 pounds in one day. Like Friday morning I had dropped um a lot, and I mean my cardio was like going down and my carbs were going up. So I mean,
Mhm.
similar to what we do, like when the body
Yeah.
starts like feeling like more rested and like revitalized with the super compensation, once you've depleted and then you fill those muscles out, they kind of like push against the skin, and
Mhm.
you have a big cortisol drop and things like that. So
Right. Okay. One more question. The suits. How do
yeah,
you like wearing the fit model cut? Do you have, because you have a sponsorship with Angel Competition Bikini.
yep,
And
yep,
so they're local. I'm sure everybody knows who Angel Competition Bikinis is because
yeah,
they're nationally known. But they are local to Kansas City and we love them and we work with
yes.
them quite often. And so you have a sponsorship with them. How have you liked wearing that cut? Is it more comfortable? how's that been?
Yeah, and I go into detail with Marissa,
Oh, okay.
just about how comfortable they are, just because
Mhm.
they're not as heavy on your neck.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
so
Okay.
they're light because they don't have any crystals or
Mhm.
connectors. And then they're comfortable to sit in because they don't have the stones on your
Yeah.
tailbone, you know? They're just really comfortable. And all the other girls were saying that too, that they just love them because it's kind of like wearing a posing suit. And
Right.
the things that I noted and that I think everybody should know is you definitely have to have bikini bite with them versus a
Mm.
well-fitted suit and bikini. You shouldn't have to have any bikini bite if it's like customized to you. Whereas if this is customized to you, you still really need bikini bite because the fabric will like kind of suck into your glutes or
Sure.
as you like because there's only so much you can slide on them without like connectors or it's I would say you just need the bikini bite for the bottoms because the fabric can get a little flappy.
Because if it scrunches up and starts giving you a wedgie,
Then
the
it's not
guy's not gonna
50%
like that,
coverage.
right? Yeah, they're
Yeah,
gonna
you have
eat
to
it
have
'cause
it
it's not your
coverage.
fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good thing to remember, guys,
Yeah.
because you will
They're
get
they're
punched
more
on that.
affordable. I think people don't like the aesthetics of them. I don't really mind them. I just get the like gasoline type ones. Um,
Mhm.
like
You can say it's kind
my
of fancy.
hologram purple, it's kind of like it looks like it has gasoline on it, so it shines like different, it
Mhm.
reflects like different colors. And then the one that I wear for Masters Nationals is electric green, it's called. But again, it has like that gasoline on it, so
Yep.
it kind of looked like different colors, like it looked teal and different things under the lights, even though it's like green. But yeah, I think it's important to do that and not the matte. The matte, I do think gets like a little just, it's a little too boring on stage. And then I would say like I don't think the reds do well in the fit model without stone for some reason.
Interesting.
It's because it's this color. A lot of people are doing like bright Barbie doll pink, and a lot of pros have gotten pro cards in pink.
Interesting.
So I've noticed that. Those
Really,
and blues and purples have been popular.
blues and purples have always been good
Yeah.
choices. Green is kind of, I feel like green is almost on a lot of people.
And stone reflection, you know, like a dark green, like an emerald green suit looks good in bikini if you have like sapphire stones. And like
Yeah,
same with a hologram red, if you have sapphire stones, it kind of like picks up some light there. So yeah, that's my take.
interesting. I
Yeah.
love it.
But
So
use the code
you're,
Glam Girl for discounts
let's
at
go.
Angels.
So you are gearing up. You got 2.5 more weeks till the next
Mhm.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Labor Day weekend. So Saturday, August 30th is the big day.
Amazing.
Yeah. So,
We'll all be crossing our fingers for you, of
well,
course.
thank you. I
Always.
appreciate that. And congratulations, Mrs.
Yeah.
Jones.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thanks for holding down the podcast for me so I can go
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for your patience. We've both been very busy season, so we appreciate the sporadicness, but um of your consistency of listening. A lot of people have sent messages. So please, we love always hearing from you. If you want to DM us on Instagram, you can find us at Prep Life Podcast or at Glam Girl Bikini. You can also tag us on your story, share it with a friend. Anytime you rate or review, that just helps other people that are interested in similar topics find us as a podcast. We are ad free. So we do this just to educate and to help people in the sport of bodybuilding. If you like coaching with Lee Marie or myself, you can go to glamgirlbikini.com and hit the get started button. Thanks for listening, guys.